So today I'm going to share with you some tips on how you can help yourself if you have L4, L5 radiculopathy down in the lumbar spine, and some tips that have worked really well in the past for people in terms of getting back on track and potentially relieving some symptoms. Hi, I'm Dr. Matt Bradbury, Georgetown Family Corrective Chiropractor, and I'm at One Life Family Chiropractic is my practice here in Georgetown, Ontario. And what I want to share today is some tips and ideas on how you can help yourself if you find yourself with L4, L5 radiculopathy symptoms. Now, this may present itself as low back pain, radiating to one side, potentially down the buttocks, down all the way down the leg, and it can either be both sides, one side. You may notice it going as a burning sensation or numbness, tingling, like that pins and needles. So some things to be aware of and some things how you can actually help yourself. So you'll see here we actually have the spine and the nervous system, and the nervous system controls your body, sending messages from your brain all the way down to your muscles, your organs, all those important things. So as a family corrective chiropractor, really we want to know about the proper structure and function of the spine and nervous system. So you may be getting symptoms in areas you may feel, but there also may be compensation or shifts in areas that you have no idea about, potentially in the upper neck. And that's why it's so important to be checked to know what's going on the inside. So today we're going to talk in particular about down here, L4, L5, and if this area is all irritated and inflamed and potentially numbness, tingling down the leg, you may notice some muscle weakness, foot drop. When you have your walk and you don't pick up your toes as well, we call that dorsiflexion, and challenges with that. So what I want to share with you today are some ideas on how you can actually help yourself. Now, a couple of really important things to remember is if you're watching this, I want you to stand up right now and take a little break from sitting on your bum. Stand up, bring your phone just like this, hold your elbow, and bring your phone up just like so you can actually get in a good position. Now, in terms of standing, I would recommend at minimal every 20 to 30 minutes. If you have not implemented your standing desk yet, please take a moment to make that investment and actually invest in a modification or a standing desk. It will pay off dividends later on down the road. Now, create yourself a little routine. Excuse me, and what I think about is how can you get yourself, in terms of movement, it's a good thing. So how can you get yourself moving more? And I would start simply by, if you're having this challenge, I would start simply by walking at breakfast, lunch, and dinner, even starting with 5 to 10 minute increments, and get yourself moving more. Print yourself a little calendar, check off one check mark for each walk that you do so that you can see your progress as you go throughout the day. So start there, walking more, moving more. It's going to be good for you. Now, one of the other things that I like to mention is also your posture. So we've talked about standing up more and walking. And if you find yourself sitting like this, oftentimes your posture is going to be shifted and potentially distorted. Things are going to move properly. And just because you may be feeling it, noticing it down here, up here may be impacting down here as well. So consider both ends. And when you stand up and move around, you get better global motion in your spine and you get more extension rather than flexion. And one of the really neat things that I like to share is that a lot of times when you have discomfort, it goes hand in hand with potentially your stress response being a little bit higher. So if your stress response is higher, guess what often happens to your muscles? They're typically more tense, more tight, and you're more in that protected state. So you may be cascading that protected, more stressed out state. So what I like to consider as well is, in terms of corrective chiropractic care, may have an impact on your stress response. And if you can actually impact your stress response, the neat part is oftentimes patients will feel more relaxed, more open, and they won't feel quite as tense. And when it comes to the low back and L4, L5 radiculopathy, think about all your hip flexors through here, tight hips, everything pulling up all together. So these are some of the areas that you want to optimize and be as open and functional as possible. Now, this is actually one position that I would suggest you try. if you're getting those symptoms or having that L4, L5 radiculopathy challenge, what I would suggest is start out by lying in this position. And this is what we call the cobra position. And now I would do this, I mean, you can try it at night, lay in it for a period of time. If you're watching your favorite show, simply lay on your stomach on the carpet and see what happens. Start with just 5 minutes. And now, in particular, if I notice I'm getting, let's say, left leg symptoms, I'm going to shift off a little more to the left, so this way. And I'm going to bring my legs out to the left, let's say 15 to 20 degrees. I'm going to see if that helps. I'll hang out there, breathe, and you can try this as a position of relief to help yourself. Now, some of the other neat things with this position is you can go neutral again, where your legs are straight, and you can actually just gently practice coming up like this. And you can do 5 to 6 repetitions just like this. And you may find a noticeable change in that numbness, tingling, or that buttocks or that low back discomfort. Now, another really great position that I'll recommend is just getting some global motion in your spine. So what I'll do is I'll actually get on all fours just like this. And what I'll do is I'll practice what's called the cat camel. And with this one, you're going to do 10 to 15 cycles. You come down just like this, come back up, working on that global spinal motion. And when you do your 10 to 15 cycles, really focus on getting to end range, and especially if you're practicing this first thing in the morning, finding those end ranges because you may be more stiff as you're just getting out of bed. Now you'll notice for this next one, what I actually use is my chair. And you can do this at night, if you're sitting on a couch at night, or if you're sitting at the desk during the day. What I suggest is grabbing something just like this, a chair or a soft surface, and finding some extension in your hips. Because oftentimes your hips will be really tight. You may be in that protected state. So I'm going to show you what the couch stretch looks like, beginner and more advanced. Now what you're actually going to do is bring the top of your foot onto the back of the chair. And now this one, you can start here. So if you start here, all I want you to do is passively sit here, hang out, breathe, and you're really working on getting that hip loosened up. In particular, if you've been sitting a lot, start here, breathe. Now, that's the more basic version. If you need to make it a little more basic than that, bring the top of this foot down to the seat of the couch or the chair. Now, in terms of the more advanced version, what you're going to do is actually what I call contract relax cycles. So while you're here, for 3 cycles, what you're going to do is push down for 5 seconds. So push your foot that way, 5 seconds, and then lean back for 20. Don't let yourself break at the hips. Just hang out here, breathe, and then once you've passed your 20 seconds of stretching, actively again push your foot down into the chair and repeat that cycle. 5 seconds down, 20 seconds opening up. Now the next one is going to be doing what we call a nerve floss. So when you think about the nerves, your brain's extension called your spinal cord coming all the way down, and then the peripheral nerves coming out. And if you have those irritated challenges, that L4, L5 radiculopathy, some people find it really beneficial to help do what's called a nerve floss. And if you think about the nerve traveling in a tunnel, coming out, exiting here, traveling all the way down through a tunnel to your toes, I want you to think about how you can take that nerve and slide it through the inside of that tunnel. Now I'll show you here what it looks like on both ends. So you would start just like this, sitting up tall, and what you can do is lean your head back a little bit and bring your toes up to your nose. So I'll bring my toes up just like that, let my foot drop, and this one 8 to 12 times on this end. Now what I'll do is I'll do the other end. So I'll focus just on leaning over, just like this. Keeping my foot in a neutral spot. Now that's the flossing from both ends. And what you can do is bring yourself up like this, and then flex down. So bring your toes up to your nose, lean your head back. And again, this is going to be 8 to 12 reps when you do it. And you may even find when you do what's called a nerve tensioner, you get some relief. So what you can do is bring your toes to your nose and then flex your head down as well. and hang out there with the nerve. You're thinking it's going to be at full tension, taut at that end, taut at this end, and then relaxing. And this one you can pause and hold for 15 to 20 seconds. So you can see there's a few things you can do, creating yourself a routine in terms of standing up more, walking more. Movement is a good thing to help with healing. Also considering the health of your spine and your nervous system. As a family corrective chiropractor, we're going to be looking at areas you may notice, but also areas you may have no idea about. And a lot of times those areas of compensation may be impacting your healing and your function. We talked about the cat camel, talked about the cobra, the couch stretch, and finally the nerve flossing. So you can see you have a routine that you can actually put together and you can be consistent with it. So you can see you can put yourself together a routine where you focus on moving more to help with healing and function, simply standing up more, walking, getting yourself a standing desk, doing things like the cobra position when you sit down at night or even during the day if you have to, the cat camel, which is great for global motion, and finally the couch stretch, and a nerve flossing. And like anything, it requires consistency to put it all together. So put yourself together a little routine in the morning, and then again if you want in the evening, and stack it up over a period of weeks, months, and see what the difference is for yourself. And also consider the health of your spine and your nervous system. Many areas you may feel, low back, buttocks, down into the leg. Many areas also you may not feel, and that's why it's so important to get checked by your family corrective chiropractor to know how you're functioning and how you're working on the inside to help with that spine and nervous system health, to help with healing, and to help with better function and optimize things. So consider all that. Also, I love sharing the message in terms of helping you understand your health more and some things that you can do on your own. My mission's big and I simply can't do it alone. So if you found this useful, please take a moment to click share, send it out to people you know that may benefit from it, even to share it to your feed so you can raise awareness about better spine and nervous system health and the fact that you need more function to have more health. I appreciate you tuning in. Thank you so much, and I'll talk to you very soon. Bye for now.